Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan. We got a special guest on tonight, a friend, a business associate, Matt Blake. He's a former pharmaceutical chemist turned farmer, and we're going to sit down with him to see what he's got growing. That's what's coming up on the SGF. Stay tuned. All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. I am sitting down with a new acquaintance, Matt Blake of Edmond Farm, owner, farmer, chief operator, director, single member, LLC. Matt, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's you work outside today?
I did, yes.
Yeah, you feel the heat.
Yes, it was very wet.
Yeah, this is my second wardrobe change.
Yeah, the wasn't no rain, just wet.
You think it's going to rain?
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to rain?
I don't think it's going to rain.
No?
It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it, but I saw this forecast that said thunderstorms, but I saw that yesterday too. And I saw when I was driving around this morning, some parts got rain in town and some didn't.
It looked like rain this morning.
Yeah.
But there was no rain.
Yeah. I know the weather's been weird. The heat wave ends, what, Monday, I think? Monday, Tuesday, supposed to end?
I don't pay attention to that.
Okay, good for you. Good for you.
I just go outside, I'm wet or dry.
Yeah, right. Whatever it so happens to be. So we met you through our flock share program.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
Oh, how did I find it? The algorithm knows what I want.
Chicken.
Yeah,
Real food.
Yeah, real food. It's not just chicken, it's real food.
The algorithm knows what I want.
Yeah, so I saw your Instagram page.
Oh,
and
okay.
on that day you were advertising, hey, I got my, doing my chickens tomorrow. We'll buy 5 chickens. We buy, a lot of farm chickens.
Yeah.
So I was interested in trying a new farm.
Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, I always ask. I didn't ask you that before, but I'm like, it's so random sometimes when people see the flock share stuff, because a lot of times we'll get new people because we'll throw it out there the day before or 2 days before, and then we're like, oh, cool, So we've started doing that more frequently because it does end up grabbing 10, 20 more chickens, something.
Yeah, and we're trying to buy most of our food from local farms.
It's
So we
feasible.
started that a long time ago, and either I'm paying attention more now, or there are legitimately more farms popping up. So
It's probably both.
Yeah,
I can tell you, in this my 8th year, there are dozens more farms than when I started.
Okay.
And it's good. It seems like every year there's a new farm stand, a little bake stand at someone's driveway, or a new farm shop like ours all together. So, I mean, that's what Americans are wanting, at least in our area, and it shows. It's just, it's a trend right now. So,
I think it's more than a trend.
well, it's becoming a more permanent thing, you know what I mean? But it's trending upward. I mean, like the amount of, the availability, at least certainly in the quiet corner, like we were just saying, is like you could pretty much find any kind of food.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get into your snack that you brought, because I think that could be found in every farm shop in the quiet corner very easily, dude. I'm going to try them first, but it already looks like a fully Daigle Farm backed product right there, dude. I love the idea. And this is just a teaser because we're not going to talk about it right now. But we're going to get into your background because I'm so curious. When we first met, you kind of said you're new to the farming thing.
True.
So you guys have always kind of grown your own food, or?
No, not always. Not always. We started in 2019.
Okay.
Before COVID.
Before
Before it was cool.
Pre-COVID. Yeah. A trend. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So we started with a garden and then chickens. And so we were really just doing it for ourselves, like kind of as a hobby, like just like it's fun to grow your own food.
Yeah.
It's fun. And then it became more serious. It just expanded every year.
Yeah.
So we started with just 4 raised beds.
Yeah.
4x8 raised bed. 4x8 raised beds.
Got it.
And just super simple. And it was a funny story because actually my wife Janine, she is really the one that pushed for this.
Sure.
I was into dirt bikes and like just like,
Really?
yeah, kind of. Like I wasn't. I mean, I was racing. I was racing motorcycles, not dirt bikes. I was racing road bikes up at Loudon, and I was riding dirt bikes. Like I was more into just like pleasure seeking, and nothing wrong with that. Dirt bikes are awesome. I love that shit, but yeah, I was just like, I was living the life of like you go to work, you come home, and you try to find something that makes you happy because work doesn't. And so then you die.
Yeah. So, pretty much. Pretty much.
But anyway, so Janine, she was the one that wanted to do this gardening thing, and I was like, I grew up in the suburbs, so like everything was like neat and organized, white picket fences, like all the ugly stuff is like inside and in your soul, and it's not, but everything looks nice.
Right. In New England?
Yeah, in Coventry, Rhode Island.
Oh, okay. Yep. No shit. Gardening. Yeah,
gardening. So I was like, all right, but vegetable gardens are ugly. I don't want to see it. So and at the time, we had a yard.
Yeah.
And the entire 9 acres was a wooded lot.
Okay.
So it was great. Woods, living in the woods is awesome.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I cleared a space up in the woods, not really even understanding like, what direction the garden should be facing, north, south, east, west.
Sure.
What side of a hill it should be on. I got lucky. I did it right by chance.
Yeah.
And like how much land I'll need to clear for like to the south from where the garden is, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't really know any of that. Just randomly did it. Got lucky.
Winged it.
Love it. Yeah. And built the raised beds out of the logs. Like did the whole log cabin thing with my chainsaw, chiseling it away. So just,
dude.
Stuff I would like is definitely a labor of love. I would never do that again.
Yeah.
And so now I need a garden bed. It's in-ground beds. And
Yeah. Now I know.
Now I know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, you worked with what you had.
Exactly.
What the hell?
And so so I told her don't want to see the garden. I'll make you a garden bed up in the woods, and that's where you can garden.
Yeah.
So no water source, nothing.
Up in the woods, out of sight, out of mind.
Well, like the only other option was like a front yard where like our septic is. So it's like really you don't want to grow vegetables there anyway.
Technically.
You can totally do it.
Yeah.
But because if you have a problem with your septic,
right?
So your vegetables are going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like because you have a different problem if they're not. But anyway. But now I have since like cleared about 3 acres of our woods and converting that to all garden space, chicken pasture. I have converted our front lawn which had many trees in it also, to garden space now.
Awesome.
So it's like I don't want to see it from the house, and now you look out our front window and all you see is garden
space. I mean, I'm sure you're making it look good.
Yeah. I mean, gardens look good now. I mean, it's like I think what changed was the mentality shift. Like, because now when I see like the white picket fence, I'm like, ooh.
Dude, that's so true. Oh man, I feel that. I do feel that. So I was there the other day, and I didn't have any time to walk around, but I'm definitely gonna come back, and I want to see the place, man. Because I hear you talk about the stuff, and I'm like, I want to see it. But that's interesting. So. Now is it more like you're growing to sustain? Like you're trying to put stuff up, you're trying to eat on it in the winter?
Yeah, so this was 2019. So what year is it now?
2026.
It's been like 7 years.
The year of our Lord. Yeah.
So every year we'd expand, and then I realized as I was doing all this, like this is actually what I want to do. I prefer to do this than like...
Okay, so what were you doing?
I was a chemist, so I was a pharmaceutical chemist.
Yeah.
I worked in biotech, several different roles. I mean, it's what I went to school for. It's interesting. I got into science because I like I enjoy the scientific method.
Yeah.
I think the way that it is used now, or maybe it's just I just have a different understanding of it from experiencing it and living it, being in the industry for 10 years. I think it's used in situations where it doesn't apply. So the reductionist philosophy in general is a very powerful tool for very specific things, but we really use it in systems that are uncontrolled where it doesn't belong. So
Doesn't make sense.
yeah, it's so if you think of it in terms of like isolating a variable, you have a response variable and a dependent variable, and you change one thing to see what the other thing does, and you look at the relationship between those two variables. And then in reality, we have, in chemistry, for example, you might actually be able to control most of your variables. So in that case, the scientific method is very appropriate. And so you might in a reactor, you might realistically be able to control and be aware of what the variables are and control your outcome and get a reproducible result all of the time. And if you don't, be able to identify what it is. But when you go from physics to chemistry, the leap into biology is where it really starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
But we don't. And then if you want to go from biology into sociology or psychology, it's almost completely doesn't apply.
Right. Yeah. To
now,
anything.
it's not that you shouldn't use the scientific method, but it's you should be interpreting the results very differently. But we don't as a culture. It's sort of like a religion.
I see. I've heard this thrown about, like some of the science in our, in the zeitgeist is kind of culty.
It is.
It is. Okay. You come from that, right?
So I don't want to come off as anti-science. I'm really not anti-science.
You are the science.
No, I'm really not anti-science. I use it in I'm talking about building general linear models on my farm to develop different to evaluate different symbiotic relationships between interplanting with crops and things like that. So I'm not anti-science.
Fascinating.
But but I am against sort of believing it's the end all be all. It's just one epistemological tool in a toolbox. And but we kind of use it as the only tool. But it can't be the only tool in systems that are not closed. It's just open systems.
Interesting. So
but I don't even remember what your question was.
I'm getting your background. No. The tangent is so relevant, man. I'm getting your background. So you worked in the pharmaceutical chemistry industry for 10 years.
Yeah, a little over 10 years.
Now, what does that exactly mean? Like, what was your day to day? What were you doing?
Oh, it depends. I mean, you start in the lab. So, are
you making pills? You making medicine?
No, that would be in manufacturing.
Okay, so making of the stuff.
Yeah, so I was an analytical chemist. So,
okay.
So you're right. There's tons of roles in
that industry.
In that industry, tons of roles. So I was an analytical chemist, and there's a lot of places within that industry for an analytical chemist to work. Yeah. So where I started, and I think this is where a lot of people start, is quality control.
Sure.
So I was just an analytical chemist doing running routine validated methods, making sure things meet the specifications that are set for them. Essentially, you're making sure it is what we claim it is, using validated methods. So you're not doing any experimenting. You're running validated methods. Like if things go wrong, you might be doing some troubleshooting, but even the amount of troubleshooting is highly limited in a quality control environment, because you don't want to generate more data from troubleshooting something that you then have to explain to regulators.
Interesting.
So it's a very tightly controlled system. In pharmaceutical companies, big pharmaceutical companies are very good at it. Frankly, they're very good at that sort of thing, running an operation that needs to be done the same way every time. Right. But they're not good at innovating. So now they are good at innovating processes. So, but if in terms of developing new things, new products, new therapies. Large established pharmaceutical companies are not very good at that because they can't be. They have to invest so much in infrastructure for producing repeatable results, validated processes, validated systems.
The R&D,
and so that's the opposite. Yeah. That's the opposite of the type of creativity that you need to have to discover new things. So that's kind of the opposite of So that's why, like, Moderna, they made they were first to market in the U.S. at least with the COVID vaccine, and I don't care about the politics of the COVID vaccine. I'm just talking about
the science.
Yeah, or not even that, just like the business model.
Yeah,
so like
there we
go. They were first to market in the U.S. I don't think they had anything else on the market, and I mean, someone can fact check me, of course, but I don't think they had anything else on the market at the time. They had a lot of things in their pipeline, mRNA vaccines or mRNA therapies in general.
Yeah.
But I don't think they had anything on the market. So they weren't in the thick of regular FDA audits evaluating their operations, their manufacturing, their quality control. They weren't in the thick of that. Now, of course, they had some regulatory audits, but nothing on the scale of like Pfizer or Amgen or these other large companies that are just operators. They're operators. And so then you think of the other vaccine from Pfizer, but it was BioNTech's vaccine. They purchased it. So that's how large pharmaceutical companies innovate, is they purchase small companies that still have the ability to be innovative. You can't be innovative
they're the mothership over all the little places.
Yes.
And so like you're saying, so basically the names that people know, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, these are the conglomerates that have or own all these smaller companies. So did you work for a smaller company, or did you work for one of the big guys?
No, my first job was at Amgen. I was there for
no kidding
8 years.
Wow.
So I think that's considered big pharma.
I would say
it's
biotech, isn't it?
Yeah, it's biotech.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making pharmaceuticals, but it's biopharmaceuticals. So yeah, biotech.
Right.
I was always a chemist, even when I was in biopharmaceutical industry. I was always a chemist. So I would consider that big pharma. After that, I was at Vertex, which is a great company to work for. And that was in Boston. That's like a middle.
Boston, living in Sterling.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Commute, my God.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be bad. Like, I'm so glad it didn't work out, because we tried to move actually, and I'm so glad that we didn't.
Yeah, dude. Wow. What year was that?
It must have been.
Just pre-COVID?
No. This was just
post.
A couple of years ago.
Okay.
So maybe 3 years ago, we tried to move for my job at Vertex, and the housing market was crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I think at one point we bid like $150,000 over a house and over the asking price, and still didn't get it.
And you're like, what the hell is going on?
It's like the universe, though. It's like it just worked out.
It's so much
better this way.
Yeah. Hey, your land looks awesome.
We invested so much in the land too, like in terms of my time.
Yeah.
And in what we've built there is like, I'm so glad that didn't work out.
Seriously. So what was there like a final nail in the coffin for work or what?
So,
and then when did you make the leap? When did you leave a job?
So I didn't go back from my, so it must have been April. I didn't go back from my paternity leave.
Okay.
With my most recent child, my daughter.
This past April?
Yes.
2026.
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
That's when I made the leap. And it was, you asked what was, it was like the impetus.
Yeah.
And really, it was I think, I said earlier, Vertex is an excellent company to work for, and they are. I don't think that my position could have gotten any better for the lifestyle that I wanted.
Yeah.
And I was still really unhappy. And I knew that I just wasn't doing what I wanted to be doing. And I think if Vertex had been like a toxic environment or just like a bad experience, I think I might have kept looking. And I would have never really learned that actually it doesn't get any better than what I had.
Yeah.
And so it's really the whole direction. And for a long time I was always saying, when I retire, I'm going to be a farmer. When I retire, I'm going to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And it clicked with me. Like, looking at my children, it's like, do I want that? Do I want them to have that attitude of safety? And, I know, of course, it's easy to say, if, you're not struggling for meals, whatever. But for me, I'd rather, and I said, like, it was a turbulent time in my home. I said, like, I would rather, like, be homeless under a bridge than doing a job. Like, I was drinking a lot. I was angry every day that I came home.
Yeah.
Because, like, and it's like a good job. It's like a
Yeah,
great
right.
job.
It's like what people strive to have.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. And it's, yeah, it just wasn't the right way to be living. And I just don't feel that it was just not what I was meant to do. It's not, summarize, it's not what I was meant to be doing.
Wow. That's pretty cool, actually. That's pretty cool. Because, like you're saying, like, what you had is exactly what the American culture teaches kids that they should strive for.
Yeah, yeah, we raise cogs.
Right. Yeah. The plebes. Yeah.
We raise cogs.
Yeah.
We do.
So that's, I mean, you had enough wherewithal to even recognize it, where most people never give it any kind of thought. You know, they're just like, this is life. This is life. You should be miserable at work because it's work.
Yeah.
Right? But like now you still work and you love it.
Yeah.
You know
I've never
what I mean?
worked hard, like physically harder. I've never worked longer.
Yeah.
And I've never made less money. In my adult life.
Yeah, dude.
Than as an entrepreneur.
Yep.
Period.
Period.
So,
Period.
Like,
And then you sprinkle in farming. You know,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
less money. Yeah.
But dude, I'm so much happier.
Yeah.
It's so much better. You get by. And
Right.
like the long hours don't feel like long hours. I'm way harder on my body.
Yep.
It doesn't.
But it's so rewarding.
It doesn't matter. It's so much better. I'd say if there's anyone listening that's thinking about it, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
If you have figured it out in your life up to this point.
Yeah. Right.
If you have figured it out in your life up to this point, why do you think that you won't figure it out in doing something different?
Right. Especially when it's something you want to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's so, you know, it's my least favorite comment we get from people, but they always say, "You're living my dream," and it just means so little because, like, dude, anybody can quite literally grow a tomato. Anybody can have a chicken. Like, this isn't a radical concept. This is just like how it used to be.
Yeah.
And so we're so disconnected from who we are as Americans and what we used to be as Americans, and
or just humans.
well, even just humans. But like agriculture, you know, America has a big agricultural history. I mean, John Deere plow here in America was invented allegedly.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really know the history of it, but I know that it was here.
I'll take your word for it. It sounds good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and like, you know, and here's a small tangent. I was just talking to my last customer of the day at the stand. New guy, lives in town, younger guy, maybe in his 30s. And he's a salesman for a massive wine company in California. So he sells out here, and that's what he does. And we were talking, he's slowly becoming like a tobacco guy, cigar dude, you know, and I want to do a cigar event in this place with the local smoke shop, Lou's. I want to get that guy on because he knows a lot about tobacco, and I'm like, every time I talk to him, I'm just like, holy crap. And I like tobacco, and I think, I don't smoke cigarettes or anything like that, but I will have a cigar occasionally or whatever. And I think tobacco's like one of those weird crops where when I smoke it, I feel like I'm communing with every single farmer that has ever existed. Because most farmers I know have either tried it or are thoroughly addicted to it, but none of them really have a problem with it. You know what I mean? No one's ever, and I don't want to say no one, but farmers I've talked to, they don't see a problem with tobacco because Connecticut still is.
Oh, you mean, okay, I was going to say, well, you said addicted earlier. That's a
well,
little
some
bit of a problem.
are thoroughly addicted. You know, we know friends, family that love tobacco that just can't not have it.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like I have family like that. So, I feel fortunate in the fact that I can smoke it and not feel that way, you know.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. I just feel like tobacco is such a unique crop when it comes to American agricultural history. And, you know, like Native Americans, like they were cultivating tobacco. And it's so funny to think, like, Europe didn't have tobacco until they had the new land, you know, and then they were like, oh, what is this shit, you know?
Connecticut River Valley.
Yeah, and we're still the premier producer in the world for cigar wraps. So it is just wrap or pipe tobacco, which is basically the same thing. I don't even know why they distinguish at this point, but And that's a hobby I want to get into, is hand rolling my own cigars, because
That's cool.
I'll watch those like POV videos where you're just looking down and someone's rolling a cigar, and I'm like, dude, I could do that. That's so cool. Like, and then then you kind of know a little bit more about what you're smoking, because you buy in these leaves from farmers or reputable growers or whatever, and that's what you're smoking. When you buy a cigar like a Bagwoods or something, no offense to the company, don't sue me, but it's just not the same thing.
Yeah.
You get a nice hand-rolled fat cigar, and all right, I'm getting off topic, but
No, it's true though.
Yeah.
It's true. When you're more connected with whatever you're consuming, when you're closer to the production, no matter what it is,
no matter what,
that's better.
it is better.
I sure taste whatever, but it's more than that.
Yeah.
It's more than that. I don't want to get weird, but it can be for lack of a better term, spiritual.
Yeah,
something.
it is.
It's like you said earlier, communing with every farmer before you.
Yeah, it's like these past lives kind of feeling. Not like super weird, but like it just feels like this is agriculture. Mm-hmm. This is so ubiquitous with American agricultural history that since we've demonized it the past 40 years, it's just like we're losing a part of who we are. Yeah. And maybe it's an ugly part, and maybe it's a beautiful part, and maybe it's both. There's plenty of both. But I don't know. I just feel that way about that crop, and I'd love to try to grow it one day and then grow my own tobacco. That would be neat.
Yeah.
And I looked into that years ago, but it's a pain in the ass, so maybe we'll get there. But anyway, tobacco, chemistry.
They're all over the place.
Yeah. So now you have Edmund Farm.
Yeah.
And what's this inspiration behind the name? Because that's not your name.
Yeah,
right?
It's not my name. No.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Edmund Farms. So I read a lot. I read philosophy, agriculture, economics.
Sure.
A lot of different things. It's from a book. So Edmund Morris was an obscure author in the 1800s.
Okay.
And it's even more obscure now, or maybe not.
What do you mean by obscure?
Not well known.
Oh, okay,
it wasn't like
okay.
wasn't like a famous author.
Yeah, it's no Edgar Allan Poe.
Right. It wasn't like a
Emily Dickinson
big name or anything.
Yeah.
It might even be his only book. I think it's his only book.
Really?
But it's a book called 10 Acres Enough.
I'm gonna write this down. Yeah, go on.
And he basically wrote about quitting his job in the city and going out to the country and starting a farm. He called it 10 Acres Enough because, interestingly, just like today, things back then, it's not surprising. It's the 1800s. I think it was 1840, maybe
pre-Civil War.
1860.
Wow.
So during maybe like 1840, 1860.
Okay.
So that's still really before. But anyway, the attitude back then was you need hundreds of acres. Now, of course, it would be you need square miles to be a farmer.
Yeah.
But,
Square
but
miles.
at the time, hundreds of acres was a big number.
Right.
And for like a homestead farmer. And his whole book is about how he did it on 10 acres. And so he called the book 10 Acres Enough. He details just his first several years as a farmer. He gives you real numbers and everything.
From the 1800s.
From the 1800s, which is really funny because at the time, the money was still gold.
Right.
So when he says $10, he's talking about a half eagle. So if you convert the price of gold to money today, nothing's changed in price.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
So if you, so now this is true. That's not literally true of everything.
Right.
But when we're talking about the essentials for survival, food, so agricultural products.
Yep.
They're relatively close. When we're talking about housing and land, they're relatively close.
Yeah.
So if you convert your money into gold units, you can kind of things are pretty steady for agricultural products and for land. Now, of course, there's going to be, well, what about this specific situation?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
talking about in general.
In general, yeah. We speak in generalities when we speak to the public because then the public does that shit. What about this one person I had in my family one time 50 years ago? Yeah, okay, I don't care. Yeah, I feel you, dude. That's really fascinating, actually. I am a proponent of gold. I like gold. I think silver, like precious metals. I tell people when they like, oh, can I pay with a card? I said, you can use cash, card, check, or gold. I don't care. I literally don't care. I'll take it all.
Dude, I'm the same way. Nobody's paid me in silver or gold yet, and they look at me really weird when I say that.
Yeah. Are you into precious metals?
Yes.
So have you seen those, the breakable pieces of silver?
Yeah.
You can break them in half or a quarter or whatever, and you got a quarter ounce to pay something with?
Yep.
Like, what if we did do that? We should, do that. People should go back to that.
Yeah, I agree. People should give me silver.
All the silver they want.
Here's
dude.
the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you my silver.
Right. That's the problem.
So I'll give you this trash money.
Yes.
And you can give me the silver and
That's
gold.
so funny, dude. I know. I have a couple of those breakable things, and I'm like, what an interesting way to do it. Like, silver's worth. Last I checked, it was like $58 an ounce.
Is it that far down right now?
It's that far down right now.
I don't.
When
really
I started
pay
buying,
attention.
it was like $17.80 an ounce.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I thought that was a lot, right? And now it hits a high of 120, and then I got friends that dumped all their silver during that time, which caused the crash, because that's how it goes. Now it's flooded with silver. Now we go right back down. But I'm sure there's other external circumstances.
I'm not going to pretend to know. There's a lot of people who pretend to know.
Yeah, what?
Up, down, why, when.
Right. Yeah.
They don't know anything.
Right.
And if you're listening to someone who's telling you that they know, you know not to listen to that person for anything.
Especially with that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I think gold is better than silver.
Sure.
I think. But anyway, that's just like a stupid opinion.
Well, it's just your opinion. I don't think it's
Yeah.
stupid. I think gold it's obviously worth more. So
Yeah,
it's definitely better in some ways.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do this Bitcoin stuff. I'm not trying. I don't pay that much attention to the price of silver or gold unless I'm doing a transaction.
Right.
It's
Bitcoin, I'm going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I want precious metals.
Yeah. Of course, physical.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm farming now and doing
Literally.
real things, and instead of writing reports that are just abstractions with no meaning.
No meaning. And causing you turmoil.
Yes,
quite frankly,
causing
right?
turmoil. Yeah.
You're not getting the same kind of negative energy from working with your hands in the
That's
ground
exactly
and the
right,
land
yes.
and communing with Earth. That's what you're doing. You're working with the planet.
Yep. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's working with.
That's what you're doing. And it's almost like pharmaceutical chemistry is like you're working almost against nature.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. That's exactly right.
So it must be. So you worked 10 years in chemistry. What did you do before that?
Well, before that, I was a student in chemistry.
No shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So how long were you in school?
Yeah. I was. Well, it depends depends how you look at it. I was when I first went to college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Asking an 18-year-old, what do you want to do the rest of your life? When you look at our system, it's really silly. It's really silly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't go there.
Yeah.
When I'm 18, what do I want to do the rest of my life? Okay, so business. So business major. Then I, made bad decisions in college. Because I'm living against my nature. I'm living in a way and building towards a life that just doesn't feel right. I can't articulate it. It just it doesn't feel right, and it doesn't necessarily feel like it's because of these things I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And anyway, made bad decisions, dropped out of that, and joined the Army to escape. Just not knowing what to do with myself. It's almost.
How old were you when you did that? Early
20?
20 years old.
20. Yeah.
So you just joined the Army.
In the Army National Guard.
National Guard, okay.
So I would be stationed in my home,
area.
area, and then I could reevaluate everything and try again in college. Instead of I had went to the University of University of Hartford, University of Hartford in Connecticut.
I don't even remember, actually. Yeah. Blacked it all out, dude.
Yeah, because it was bad, man.
Yeah.
And so, like, I dropped out of that, joined the Army. And then when I came back, I went to University of Rhode Island and, like, got a good education there. I could have gotten a great education at University of Hartford, too, but I just, wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I dropped out, joined the Army. In the Army is actually where I realized I had an interest in science. So I'd read, like, pop culture science books.
Sure.
So not, like, real science books, but, like, scientists who are really good at communication.
Sure.
And make it really exciting,
Neil.
like Richard Feynman.
Yeah, okay.
Well, like, if this was happening to me now, it would be Neil deGrasse Tyson. But, like, back then, Richard Feynman, who even then he was old. And, like, so he's a good one too. So that's when I realized I really enjoyed that process, like getting down to like biology and chemistry, and like really I thought I wanted to be a biology major, and that's what I was. I got my bachelor's degrees in biology.
Wow.
But during my biology degree, I was in a genetics class, and they're talking about these this transcription factor binds to this sequence and initiates this downfield sequence of proteins, whatever. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, wait, how?
Yeah.
How does this molecule out of a giant strand of DNA unravel itself?
Right.
And this transcription factor binds to this specific part of this, and so how does that happen?
Right.
And how do we know that happens? How did we figure that out? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the answer is not in the field of biology, it's in the field of chemistry. And so when I went and talked to my professor, trying to answer those questions, he's like, well, you're really asking about chemistry, it's thermodynamics. And he's like, that's not my field. Everything's highly specialized. And it was like, it's not like he didn't know anything. He had to answer my question.
He knew something.
Yeah, he's like, but really what you're asking about is chemistry. So that's when at that point I was almost done with my degree.
Sure.
So I didn't switch to chemistry, but I made sure that I had all of the prerequisites for a chemistry graduate program. Then applied, and so I went to URI for medicinal chemistry.
So what did you must have had a job, right, during all this?
The Army was paying my bills. So the Army will pay you to go to college.
Right.
So I was getting a stipend. And so I also had jobs at the school.
Oh, okay.
So I would work at the school as a lab tech, just cleaning microbiology dishes. Some labs I'd work for just for experience. Some would pay me. But mostly it was my stipend in terms of how I was paying my bills, if that's what your question is. But yeah, just just jobs at the universities during that time, and then the Army stuff.
Army. Yeah. Wow. So are you in the Army now?
No.
Okay. No. So how does that work in the National Guard? You just discharge?
1 week in a month. I don't know. I don't want to be the spokesman. So.
No, how'd you leave?
How did I leave?
Yeah, because when I think of
my time was up.
Oh, okay. So I always think of the National Guard as a lifelong thing for some reason. I don't know why.
Same types of contracts. I had a
2, 4, 6 year.
Yeah, they do it 6x2, whatever. I don't know what the terminology is. I don't remember. But I had a 6-year contract where I was actively in the National Guard, and then 2 years after that, they could still contact me if there was some emergency. They never did.
And is there anywhere, and I don't know, but is there anywhere in the fine print where if shit hits the fan today, they could still contact you?
I don't think they'd want me. I'm 40 now. So
well, they raised the age of the draft to 42.
Oh, really?
This past March on my birthday. Went from 36 to 42.
I don't know. I don't know. As far as I know, there's nothing in that contract that says they can reactivate me. But I don't think that you're asking in an extreme situation. I don't think that. I don't know. They don't care about rules anyway. That they're going to do
extreme situation. Fair.
What
are rules? Yeah. Interesting.
You don't have a choice.
Right.
It's like we are the government, and you are just you.
You are now
what
conscripted.
Are you gonna do?
yeah, you are ours again.
Yes.
When I lived, I had a farm up on Cherry Hill, and just like a little 3-acre piece of land, nice little Cape house. It was just renovated. My neighbor behind me is still, I always get the ranks wrong, whatever the highest thing in the National Guard.
Okay. I mean,
Chief Master Sergeant or whatever.
Oh, okay. So not a non-commissioned officer.
Yeah, that's what he is.
Okay.
And he still works for the Guard, but he does like insurance stuff.
Yeah.
Almost like insurance fraud and stuff like that. So
fraud. That's interesting.
well,
like you probably probably fake VA claims and like other.
it's that. It's
maybe,
like
I don't know.
something about license plates, some like vehicle theft and shit. It was like weird.
I have no idea.
I have no
That's
idea either.
Yeah.
But that's what he did.
Yeah.
And super cool guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of administrative jobs in the
Ton,
Army.
it seemed like.
it's a whole it's a bureaucratic organization. That's just there managing, war.
And at one point, before I really started Daigle Farm and LLC and all that shit, I thought I would join the Air Force because my grandfather was in the Air Force, and none of his kids joined. A couple did the National Guard because they dropped out of high school, and that was the rule back then. If you drop out of high school, you join in the military. Mm-hmm. You pick the branch, but you're joining. And 2 of my uncles didn't graduate high school, and they just opted to do that instead, and then became tradesmen anyway. So, but there was a point where I was pretty lost, and I was like, well, I think I'll just join the military. Say, hey, fuck it. See what this.
This is my attitude. Yeah, that's
see what it brings.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, because I didn't care. I didn't really hated my job, and not a single person in my personal life supported the idea to quit my job and become a farmer. Not my parents didn't. They still kind of don't.
What was your job?
I had a good job. I worked inside sales and shipping at a wholesale plant nursery. Made good money. 6 minutes from my house. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
And it was a small, basically family-run business. So you get nice Christmas bonuses. Sometimes we do company-wide parties. Just like it was a good place to work. And was there a future there? 100%. And I love plants, and I love that industry.
I see that.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. You can look around, right? And actually, most of these plants came from that place. Awesome. I still buy from them because, granted, we didn't really leave on a bad note. Although my boss was like, "Well, good luck making what I pay you on lettuce." That's what he said when I had this, which I thought was an important, somewhat intimate conversation about my life and how it just wasn't fitting in anymore.
Yep.
And in that world, pretty much mid-March, you're balls to the wall shipping plants. We were going all over New England. So I told him right after Christmas, we hit January, and I was like, dude, I don't think I can do another spring here. I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I need to start my own business. He was not happy because I was doing the job of 5 people, and you lose that person, you're kind of fucked no matter where you are.
Yep.
And but I didn't mind the workload. But I'm working 80 hours a week, and I'm thinking...
And not for yourself.
And not for myself. Yeah. And in that industry, this is something that people don't know about agricultural businesses, but in the state of Connecticut, they don't have to pay you overtime at all.
Okay.
So I'm working a whole week's worth of hours, and then a whole week's worth of hours. It should be time and a half.
Sure.
Never. Not even like a thanks for doing a good job. You know what I mean? And the guy before me, who was still there, and we're still friends to this day, had some other perks, like time and a half if it went
he's still there.
And he's still there. Well, he's the farm manager now.
Okay.
His name's Mike. He has never gotten the recognition that he really deserves for what he does for that company. And there's been many times where he's thought about leaving and tried to leave and looked and did these things, and he's just, the devil you know sometimes is better than the devil you don't, and it stops you.
Yeah.
And I just, one day we had this guy that literally came with the farm when the current owner bought it. This dude worked there when it was this other place called Vercades for 20 years. This dude buys it, and this guy has been working for the same, for my former boss for 15 years at this point. And his name was Ralph, the guy that was an employee, and he was kind of special needs, but could drive, could function. You wouldn't know he was special, but just didn't know his birthday. didn't know how to spell, didn't know how to read.
Okay.
Just like a guy that society left behind, quite literally. Could have probably used a manager, a handler his entire life and just never had one. And so he was living in like a duplex with his dad, and his dad dies. Well, Ralph doesn't realize that his rent is actually half the mortgage, right? So he just keeps paying half the mortgage. Just half the mortgage. Bank takes his home. Okay? Then Ralph has a heart condition, can't work anymore. And this is wintertime. And a lot of times in the winter, Ralph will come in for cash, do odd jobs around the farm. We keep him busy, but now he's a liability. And to the owner's eyes, now he's a liability. And he just treated him like garbage, And there was this one time, it was winter, and Ralph came in, and he was not looking good. And we would do not his Social Security, his unemployment with him online because he didn't have a computer, okay? So he'd come in once a month or every couple of weeks, and we'd help him with his stuff. And I said to my boss, I said, do you think we could get Ralph a big Y card, like $100 for food? And he goes, no, Ralph's fine. Ralph's fine. And I'm thinking, I just sat with this guy for a day. He's not fine. His life is pretty fucked up. He's not far from living on the damn street. And it was at that conversation that I was like, I could be Ralph. And he wouldn't give a shit. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Because that guy was the all-around infielder for the farm. He could do absolutely anything. He'd been there for almost 40 years. So he knew the infrastructure. He knew everything. That's an important crew member. And if you're going to be like, no, fuck that dude. He can figure it out. He's a grown man. Well, dude, he's not a grown man in his head, right? So anyway, I took that. I left my office. I drove home, loaded up a bunch of frozen meat from my freezer, and gave it to Ralph because he's literally like, I don't have any food. And he was like afraid to eat certain meat that he was eating his whole life because his doctor's like, oh, you can't have a lot of salt. Well, Ralph just didn't comprehend most things like that. So anyway, it was that was the nail in the coffin for me when I was like, you're going to treat this dude like this? He's been here so long. He does what for you? And he doesn't mean shit to you? I'm Ralph. We're all Ralph, And I'm not going to be Ralph because where's the security there? So to me, quitting my job and not having constant income was just as risky as staying there and one day maybe being Ralph.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So when I quit my job, I was like, dude, I'll train my replacement. I'll work half a week if that's okay with you. Whatever you can fit into the budget, I'll train her. And
it's a little too nice for your story, though.
I didn't want to leave. I've never left a job on bad terms, like ever. All my previous bosses, I'm still cordial with. You know what I mean? I still support all those businesses. And some of them support me. Some of them buy turkeys. Some of them buy,
I'm not saying go below the place up.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. No,
here's my 2 weeks.
Yeah, well.
Because he's treating it like a business. It is a business.
It's business.
It's a business.
Yeah.
He's treating it purely like a business.
Purely. There's no humanity.
Where economic efficiency is the number one priority. That's the world we live in right now.
Yeah.
Economic efficiency is more important than any other thing.
Anything.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a capitalist as much as the next person.
Same.
But the fact that every question we ask in business needs to pass. Is this economically efficient? Needs to pass that test.
That's the first
before
standard.
any other things.
Yeah.
Before environmental sustainability, before the well-being of your employees, before everything else.
Yeah.
That's how you lose your humanity. It's not, and I'm not,
Yep.
I'm not trying to be weird about it. Like I said, I'm a capitalist as much as the next person.
Yeah, but you have morals, you
but
have ethics.
There is a matter of what is most important.
Right.
And there's actually three things. Actually, and this is not, in my opinion, this is not subjective. There's only three things that are important: food, shelter, and relationships.
FSR. I like that.
So
Food,
if you
shelter,
have those three
relationships.
things, you're good.
Yeah.
If those three, beyond having those things, if those three things are secure in your life, you're good.
So okay. Food, shelter, and relationships. I like that. like we were just saying, I would put water under food. I don't know why it's always like food, shelter, water. It's food and water. That's the same thing.
Yeah, but nourishment.
Nourishment. Yeah, it's just something you need.
Yeah. Really, all of it's nourishing.
Yeah. True.
The whole gamut.
The whole gamut. Well, that's fascinating. Interesting rise to where you are now. Back to what you're doing today.
Yeah.
The goal is now preserving. The goal is now longevity of crop, you would say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that leads me to this wonderful little snack you brought us here. What are we calling them?
Oh, let's call them pickle chips.
Pickle chips. Is one of these flavors better than the other, in your opinion? What do you prefer?
Well, I'm going to be honest. We made those, Janine made those today.
This is fresh off the presses.
Fresh off the press. And I've only tried the ranch one.
And they were dynamite?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you've only tried the ranch, we ought to do the dill.
Sure.
So give us a little background. What is this product here? Listen to that. Okay.
Yeah, so I snack a lot.
Sure.
And it's really difficult to snack and eat real food, to have convenient snacks, especially something
Listen
you can
up,
just grab.
people. He's not wrong.
Ooh,
Ooh, they smell good.
So this is like kind of Janine's solution to this. We all like to have snacks around. We have kids. We want them to eat real food also.
Oh, dude. You want some of these?
Sure.
Yeah, man. These are good. Folks, you can't taste it and you can't smell it, but they're hitting all the fucking, yeah. What a simple idea.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Yep. Good job, Janine.
Dude, yeah. Shout out to Matt's wife, Janine. This is a great product. Yeah, dude, this could be everywhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, we snack, and it is very difficult to eat real food while snacking. We want our kids to eat real food, and they need snacks. So we got the idea to get a freeze dryer, and we didn't invent this idea, of course.
No, I get it. And
so there's lots of things you can do with freeze dryer.
more of these.
So this is just spices and a cucumber in the freeze dryer. So, so Janine seasoned the sliced cucumbers and then put them in the freeze dryer, and they kind of have the texture almost of like a chip.
Yeah, they do.
So we're calling them pickle chips.
Pickle chips.
But I know I'm sure if you just Google like freeze dryer pickle chips, you'll find a recipe.
But is this on the market?
I bet you could find it on like Etsy, things like that. I doubt, I doubt there's like not in supermarkets or anything like that. I would guess.
Well, screw those supermarkets.
Yeah.
We should put these in every freaking farm stand, dude.
Agree.
I'm telling you right now. Just thinking of the farms we work with, this is a home run item. This is a home run item.
Thank you.
Do we get into the spices? You were telling me off air that some of this, like all of it actually, like the spices are from the farm you're doing right now?
They're not all from the farm. They all can be, though.
Oh, okay.
So we still have some, there are some purchased spices in here.
Okay.
But let's see, what one did we eat? The dill. So in that is white vinegar.
Yep.
Salt. I mean, I guess that's not going to realistically come from our farm in Connecticut.
Unless you hit a mine or something.
Right.
Hit a vein of salt.
So white vinegar, salt, dill, garlic powder, onion powder. So we're really motivated. We could make our own vinegar.
Yeah.
But certainly we are growing our dill, garlic powder, dill, garlic, and onions, and we could make them into powder. We have the freeze dryer. So.
This is brilliant, Matt. Seriously, dude. I love seeing products like this because it's solving a problem. Oh, the wind is picking up. I'm sure the the mic is gonna pick it up.
My prediction was wrong.
I know, dude. It does look like a storm is a brewing. Wow. I'm just so smart, dude.
Yeah,
well,
so
when you're ready to,
we're gonna try all different recipes like that for our farm stand, and of course wholesale them.
Honestly, I like the packaging. I like that you can see the product. That's important. It's transparent in more ways than one. It's just a pickle. Well, it's actually just a cucumber.
Yep, just a cucumber.
Folks, you got to try them. Once you try them, you're gonna buy them. Do we have a price point?
Oh,
You can say
geez,
no.
put me on the spot now.
You can say no. I know you're not intending to sell them tomorrow, but
Right, yeah.
I
Yeah,
am.
probably next year.
Next year, okay.
Like next season.
Okay.
We still have to get our permits and, and things.
Permits.
So next season we'll be looking to solve. The problem is too is like you might say, oh, why don't you just rent a commercial kitchen right now?
It's impossible.
We need a freeze dryer.
Yeah.
And so anyone that's going to have a commercial kitchen and have a freeze dryer in it already probably can't afford. Also, a freeze dryer is very energy intensive. It's
Yes.
not exactly the most efficient way to preserve food. It's very energy intensive. So it's not inexpensive to run.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, it's a great idea, and I can see them in every friggin' farm stand, dude, from large to small. Like, it may not be blowing your mind, but it's blowing mine because it's just a good product.
That's
dude.
awesome.
This is how I feel when I want to carry a product. You know what I mean? Like, I would totally put my name on this.
Well, good to know. I will.
Absolutely.
I'll let you know when they're for sale.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. Okay, so let's well, I mean, that's a little rain, right?
Well, if you can hear us still.
Yeah, well, right, yeah, exactly. It's probably going to be a downpour. Yeah, we'll bring it home. So, how many kids?
2 kids.
2 kids. 2 kids, wife, no dog?
We have 2 dogs, 2
2
Great
kids.
Danes.
Great Danes.
Yeah.
Man, my dad used to breed Great Danes
Oh, cool.
before I was alive.
Okay.
You know, he kind of gave that up when he had a child. But that's awesome. That's really cool. What is the main focus? Because I was at your place the other day.
Yeah.
And side note, everybody, Matt here has been taking our chicken guts from Chicken Day and turning them into the finest compost you're going to find next season. Because we do it, but not to your capacity.
Sure.
Like, you're taking the bare rolls, which is feathers and feet and intestines and everything
All of
that
it.
is basically
Yep.
useless for us. What gave you the idea to do that?
Yeah, so Edmund Farms is in general. So the mission here,
Yeah.
it's not just to create a farm, but that is the foundation because we're talking about food, shelter, and
Sure.
relationships.
Yeah.
But Edmund Farms in general is about creating a local circular economy. So we use what is available to us. So when I started Edmund Farms, I wanted to quit my job, but I needed to make money somehow. So I have what skills do I have? I can do tree removal.
Yep.
I know a lot about soil science because as a chemist, I would read soil chemistry and study it. So like the chemistry is the same; it's a different application. So, started a tree business. I started a soil and garden consulting business.
Which I love that idea. Yeah. That's
So
a great idea.
so I'll go to other farmers' farms and help them with their soil amendments, adjustments. I also build farms. So I will. So I just built a hugelculture market garden for a client.
Wow.
So 80-foot beds, 6 80-foot beds, or 90-foot beds actually, 6 90-foot beds, all hugelculture. And this was because of the context of the land. A different story, but the way that we decide to make a garden is based on the context of the land. We work with what we have.
Fascinating.
And so that land really called for hugelculture because the soil had zero structure.
Got you.
It was compacted. There was no roots. There was nothing in there.
So you built the beds.
Built the beds, yeah. So
You don't have to get super specific, but how do you charge for that? What's your structure on charge? Is it hourly? Is it by the job? Is it?
So I have a target hourly wage for myself.
Yep.
I don't charge hourly because people don't like open-ended quotes.
Right.
But
Yeah, fair point.
so I have a target hourly wage for myself, and
Okay.
I try to estimate correctly. So far, I'm bad at estimating. I am making much less money than I intend.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's good experience. I'm working largely with organic farmers because that's
Right.
what I know. So
Yeah.
if someone wants to use conventional farming, I have less to offer them. I'm not going to tell them how to amend their soil, the things to look for,
Right.
warning signs within the soil and how to fix them, how to manage pests. I'm not going to be able to help a conventional farmer because it's not what I know. It's not what I study.
Right.
So I am big on the mission of my clients, which are organic farmers. So I don't mind right now, at least, that I am, essentially undercharging.
Did I see a lot of mushroom logs when I was there?
Yeah, that's going to be a big part of what we do. That's about working with the land. So I have 9 acres, heavily wooded. I've cleared 3 for gardens because we got to have gardens, but the rest of it I'm going to be doing mushroom logs. So I'm going to be working with the wooded land that I have and doing a lot of mushrooms. So that's going to be a major part of our farming operation at our property. Is mushroom logs. And that feeds into a lot of other things that I'm doing. Fungal inoculation is a big part of organic farming when it comes to pest and disease resistance. You're building an ecosystem. So a lot of people say organic farming is more expensive than conventional farming. That's because they're thinking about it wrong. You're looking at the organic fertilizers, you're looking at the organic pest control, and you're saying they're more expensive. Yeah, they are more expensive, but if you're thinking of organic farming in terms of I'm going to add this amendment and I'm going to add this pest control measure, then you're thinking about it in conventional terms still. With organic farming, you're building an ecosystem that needs things less, and you can produce your own on farm. So you can produce your own fertilizer.
Yeah, right.
You can produce your own microbial solutions. You can produce. You can inoculate your gardens with beneficial fungus.
Right.
And over time, these things matter. The problem is, conventional farming has ruined people, just like the pharmaceutical industry has ruined people, in the sense of you get immediate results with synthetic fertilizers and chemical pesticides and drugs that you take from the pharmaceutical industry. You get immediate results. Living healthy, treating the earth well, working with the ecosystem, taking the time to learn your specific land in the microclimate and the ecosystem that you're actually in, and working with it, that takes time, it takes knowledge, and you don't get the immediate results, the immediate satisfaction of using these other strategies. I don't remember what your question was, but organic farming. It's ecological farming.
Ecological farming. I like that. It's beyond organic. That's what we say. Like, we always get that question, are you guys organic? And I'm like, we're beyond organic.
Yeah, that's
I don't know what
answer.
organic means to you, because it means something different to them. It means something different to me, because there's no actual definition for this word organic.
It has a specification as a
Has a
government
marketing description.
I mean, you can't use the word organic, I'm sure.
You got that right.
It's that was a mistake, wasn't it?
Dude, one of my first years in farming, I made a post on my Facebook page, and all I said was like, veggies are grown using organic methods, right? Somebody flagged it and was like, this is illegal.
Competitor.
Probably, but I didn't know. I was young. I was still like, oh shit, right? I actually called the USDA. I called the USDA and said, this is what I phrased it as. Is this illegal? They said 100%. 100%. They said, you can't use the word organic. Period.
O word.
Yeah, the O word. Yeah. So, we all know how the USDA is. Like Joel Salatin says, the the Department of US and our run-in with it. I already did an episode on that. I'm sure I told you about it.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Anyway, man. So, if people are looking to have a garden built or some tree work done or even having their soils tested, what's the best way to find you?
You can go to edmundfarms.com.
Yeah.
Got all the information there.
edmundfarms.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that out. I haven't checked out the site. I didn't even know. So I'm definitely going to check it out.
But let's go back to your question.
Yeah,
Like the purpose of Edmund Farms is a circular economy. We brought this up because I'm taking your chicken guts and composting them. So I essentially have unlimited wood chips. So like whether it's from my own tree work or just connections I've built with arborists and other tree workers, I'm crawling in wood chips. So it's so now I got my sawmill set up this weekend, so I have unlimited sawdust.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that was part of the Edmund Farms.
So it's
really what I realized is I have the materials to do this, so I'm going to do it.
You're gonna do it.
So that's where Bioturn came in. So that's it's a registered trade name under Edmund Farms. So we will do organic waste collection.
Bioturn, that's the compost
Bioturn
business.
is the composting business. So
Gotcha.
we will do waste pickup for a fee. In your case, you're dropping it off. We don't need charge for that because
appreciate that.
we make money on the other end of it.
Yep,
So we
yep.
make money when we sell the compost.
Mm-hmm.
You're dropping off this material. You don't need it. I can use it. I got unlimited wood chips. So like you're bringing me nitrogen. So
Yeah.
I have tons of carbon. So we
Right,
can combine
right.
those, the right ratios, and get good compost.
Good compost. So Bioturn is the compost. What's
Yeah.
the tree business?
Edmund Farms Tree and Land.
Love that, Edmund. Yeah, that's great. And then the soil testing is called.
That's just under Edmund Farms. Oh, there goes the bunny.
And there goes the dog. Come on, Paul. Leave it alone.
So we don't have it's really just under Edmund Farms. Really,
Yeah.
I made I started my business officially in August, and I was very excited for all these different components of it, and I made a bunch of trade names. Really, I only needed to do that for Edmund Farms Tree and Land because we are licensed and insured, and insurance is very expensive
Yeah.
for a tree business. It's among the highest claims rates of any industry.
Not really
for
shocking.
insurance. Yeah, not
No,
shocking.
not really shocking.
So tree insurance very expensive, and it's largely based on revenue. So like they'll audit me to see how much money I made because they assume that I'm charging the market value,
Of course they do.
and which I am. And so they assume I'm charging the market value, and therefore they interpret the revenue as the amount of exposure they have to the risk of tree work. It's based on my revenue. It's nearly 20% right now as a new business. So
Yeah.
it's a huge amount off the top.
Yeah.
So I did not want any of my other business ventures to be confused with revenue from the tree business. So
Smart.
I keep them very separate.
Smart.
So I have really all I needed a trade name for was the tree and land one. The other ones are all just part of the Edmund Farms ecosystem. It's a circular economy. We'll pick up your waste because we can use it and make compost, sell it back to farmers.
Yep.
So another benefit is if you're in my if you're a soil client of mine, you're going to get discounts on the compost.
Right.
So it's really all going back. It's just a circular economy.
I think what you're doing is a really smart idea, and I don't know any farms that wouldn't almost directly benefit from one of those three
Right.
streams, or
Yeah.
even fourth with
Right.
these products that Edmund Farms is going to be making.
Yeah.
Pickle chips, folks. They're coming to a table near you, or at least they're coming to your hands sooner than later. No table needed. But at that, I think we're going to wrap it up, man. I definitely want to have you back on after you've
Sure. Yeah.
been doing it for a few months, and just because you never know, you might pivot and do something in addition to,
Oh, yeah.
or drop something, or
Absolutely. I'm
know?
doing what works.
Yeah.
So, there's been ideas that I've abandoned or tabled. Even the composting thing, it was something that I had tabled until I ran into you. I'm setting up my business so that I can react to opportunities and stop doing what's not working.
I love that, reacting to opportunities. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. And when you say circular economy, I feel like we're almost trying to do the same thing, because we have our bakery is called the Harvest Kitchen. That's its own trade name, under Daigle Farm, and we were just talking about doing a landscape design consultation business, because
Okay.
with my history at the farm, I
Yeah.
know a lot about what to plant, where to plant, when it blooms, when it doesn't, like things like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that landscapers, by and large, don't seem to know shit
Yeah.
about plants. They
Yes.
don't know the botanical name. They're all daisies to them. They have no
Yep.
idea. And the homeowner deserves better because they're paying good money.
You're right, yeah.
And when we would have landscapers come into the farm, and we'd go around with them, and they're like, "Oh, what do your roses look like? All right, let's go look at the roses. When does this one bloom? When does that one bloom?" They have no idea.
Yeah.
They're like, "My client wants it to bloom in June. Can you do that?" Yeah, we can do that. Perennial?
Yep.
Yeah, we can do shrub. No shrub. Okay, we could do that. Stuff like that. And that's something I'm decent at knowledge-wise, and definitely something I think that we should add to the Daigle Farm
Very
circular
good, yeah.
economy.
Yes.
You know? So I love that term, circular. I mean, I've heard it before, but the way you're applying it to what you're doing is genius. And I think more farms should really strive to do something like that, and not just be a farm, but be a this, a this, a this, and this, and it's all the same. You know.
Yeah,
it's
is
all
all
one
the same,
hat.
yeah,
You know,
it's
it's
all-
one family. But Matt, dude, this has been a great chat. Definitely want to have you back on and pick your brain more.
Sure.
Maybe get some more pickle chips off you, because I'm saving these. Cass is going to love them. I already know Cass is going to love them. Chef Kim's going to love them. And our customers are going to love them. So
Very good.
when you're ready, we're putting these bad boys on the menu, and they're going all over Eastern Connecticut, okay?
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
From Woodstock to Mystic and everywhere in between. All right, Matt, thanks for coming on, dude.
Thanks for having me.
This has been another episode of the Simply Growing Food podcast. We hope that you found it educational and informational, and if not, that's a shame. Bye-bye. I got all the fucking work I need. I got all the fucking work I need. I got all the fucking work I need. I got all